Hey everyone, it's Ulister here once again, and welcome back to more Final Fantasy VIII. When last we left off, we had successfully acquired Odin, but now we are returning to the Centra ruins because there is one more Guardian Force we have to acquire here, and that is the Tonberry King. Now, unlike Odin, this is going to take a little while. In fact, if you're serious about getting this guy, it's going to take you about 2 hours at least. It took me 2.5 hours. Why does it take that long? Because you see this little guy here? You see this little guy? This is a regular variety Tonberry. And to get to fight the Tonberry King, you have to beat 20 of these guys. Now that might not seem like a big deal, but look at that health. 19,000 HP. Each Tonberry at this level has 19,000 HP. That's not going to be easy to get through. Bear in mind as well that with Tonberries, those of you who haven't played a Final Fantasy game before, with Tonberries they have this unique attack pattern where they don't attack you until they get close enough to stab you in the face. When they do, it hurts. In most other Final Fantasy games, at that point, when they hit you, it's an instant death. It's a one-shot kill. But luckily in Final Fantasy VIII, it's not. It just deals massive damage. In the case of this game, at this point in time, it's about 1,500 damage, which is still quite considerable, and is capable of killing you if you're not careful. So, once again, before you go into this fight, you need to set aside 2.5 hours. Because here's the thing, you have to do it in one sitting. You have to fight 20 Tonberries in a row. And you cannot leave this area. You can't do it. You can't fight 10, go back to the garden and save, and then come back and fight your other 10. No. You've got to fight 20 in a row. Yeah, okay, you can actually pick your head up off the desk again now and get back into the game. So, the best way to deal with this, considering he has a very damaging attack that is essentially on a timer, the best way to deal with him is to use Diablo a lot. Because these Tonberries are very weak to gravity-based magic, which is what Diablo's attack actually is. Don't bother using demis. Oh, this is the other attack he does, by the way. Yeah. It's a random thing. They only use it sparingly. It's like a counter attack. It doesn't happen all the time, but just be wary of it. Again, it deals about 1,500 damage. Thereabouts. Well, actually, that's not entirely true. The amount of damage everyone's grudge does kind of depends on how many enemies that particular character has killed. So because Squall is in the party like 90% of the time, he's killed the most. So everyone's grudge really hurts Squall, but Rinoa and Quistis in this instance, because they've hardly killed anything, it doesn't hurt them as much. So just bear that in mind. Other than that, use Diablo a lot, like I said, and you really want to be using your toughest Guardian Forces for this entire section. For me, it's Shiva and Ifrit. Both, when boosted up, do that kind of damage, which is pretty considerable. Eventually, of course, the Tonberries will fall over, and then you gotta do it 19 more times. And you're going to get to the point where you're actually going to get sick of seeing all of the Guardian Forces. I'm not kidding. At this point... Yeah, by the way, I'm not recording the commentary live because, Jesus Christ, 2.5 hours? Sod that. I think at this point, actually... This is... Oh, this is the final one. This is Tonberry number 20. There's actually a good way to tell when you've hit the 20th Tonberry, because as soon as the last one dies, you instantly face the Tonberry King. You don't even get a break. It just happens. So you better prepare for this, bad fucker. You know, be prepared for it. Keep counting as you go. You're gonna lose count unless you like got a bit of pen and paper and you do a tally chart of what number you're up to. But eventually, number 20 comes around, you kill him, and then you face the Tonberry King, who is actually easier to kill than your regular variety Tonberries. Mainly because his attacks are less dangerous, which is kind of surprising when you consider the fact that he is actually the king. But he takes longer because 50,000 HP. That's actually more health than all of the bosses combined that you have faced so far. And do you want to know something else? Don't use Diablo against this guy. Don't. Because for whatever reason, the Tonberry King is completely 100% immune to gravity-based spells. Maybe his crown has some kind of transmogrification device or whatever. I don't know. But just don't bother using it. Don't use Demi, don't use Diablo. You know, I'll show you here as well now. Look, Quistis is casting Demi just to show you this. And it does absolutely nothing. So don't bother with that. Your best bet here is, again, just to keep using Guardian Forces. You can't use Diablo. This is another one of his attacks, by the way, called Junk. Apparently he can summon objects from the modern day and make them fall on your character's head. I don't know. I don't... You know, I've got to the point where I just stop questioning things. I honestly have. But, yes. Just keep using your Guardian Forces. You know, Shiva, Ifrit, and then, you know, Brothers or Quez, actually. Thanks for reminding me there, Thunderstorm. Quez works quite well. It's gonna take you about 20 minutes alone just to fight this guy. I'm not even kidding. It is one hell of a slug trying to get through here. And it's the main reason why, like I said, I'm recording the commentary now, after the fact. But, eventually, you knock him on his ass, his crown falls off, and he reverts to normal size. So not only is his crown capable of rendering Demi ineffective, but it also increases his size. Kind of thinking Squall should wear that. Because that would be... Can you imagine like a 50-foot Squall? That would be hilarious. But, yeah, you don't get any experience at all. You do get the crown though. And you get an absolute fuck ton of AP. 21. Can't sniff at that. Oh, yeah, by the way, all the miniature Tonberries you fight along the way, you don't get any experience for that as well. Yeah, I know. It's things like that that make me wonder, honestly, how in the hell someone is supposed to just randomly stumble across this without some kind of guide, you know? On this screen now, of course, we see the Tonberry King's abilities, level down and level up, which basically do exactly what they describe. You cast it on monsters, and they either lower the level of that monster, making him easier, or they level the monster up, making it harder. I should mention as well that by doing that, you also change the level of the magics that you can draw from them. So if they currently have Fire, and you cast level down, you get Fire. If they have Fire and you cast level up, you get Firaga. You know, that's kind of what happens. At this point, when I was leaving, I got into this fight and I thought, no, I'm done. I'm not playing anymore. You can go to hell. So I just ran away. But yeah, I honestly wonder, considering you have to fight 20 Tonberries in a row without leaving this particular area, I honestly wonder how people randomly stumble across that without a guide. Because what in the hell? There's not mentioned at all, like, that you have to stay there. There's nothing at all in the game that says that. How in the hell are you supposed to work that out yourself? You know? with no experience, who the hell in their right mind would just stand there for like 2 hours fighting the same damn creatures over and over? It's ridiculous. And it's actually bullshit. But anyway, next time, hopefully we get back to a familiar situation of things. We continue with the story. We're heading to Balam in the next video. So, until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Fucking Tonberries.